Yo, what is up, my friends, Andre and Shane? What's up, guys? We got a little parlay going for you today, a little DNVR X PHNX parlay pays out like plus 1,000. It's a baby beluga. So how are you guys doing?
I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. Finally doing our crossover, man. I'm stoked.
I know we've been talking about this for a while because we have the best opportunity of anyone to do crossover shows because we kind of talk about everything, so we don't have any real ties. I think we're gonna have to have like a little competition here about who can put out the best big three tonight. What do you think, Trey?
I wish we hadn't picked this game. I am not prepared today. I am not prepared. I'm extremely concerned for Shane appearing on this show. I fear this was a drastic move for you, Shane. So I'm concerned. I'm trying to be at my best behavior. And as everyone knows, when I try to be my best, I am undoubtedly my worst. So I'm tremendously concerned for everything that we have going on. And I kind of hate this game, which makes me love it, but we'll get into it all.
I'm going to have you removed from the show after saying that you hated a Thursday night football game. Everyone knows that all Thursday night football games are good and a gift from above.
I love them. I love the elite quarterback matchups we've been getting. Davis Mills x Sam Darnold is going to be electric tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
It's amazing. Just like all Thursday night football. And as I always say, our long national nightmare is finally over. 2 days without football, too many. And no thanks to the MAC, it is 2 days without football, which is some BS. Real quick, I want to let everyone know that our show is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, where right now you can bet $1. If you're in Colorado, you can bet $1 to get $150 in free bets if you bet on any football game. And those free bets are paid out in 6 $25 free bets, which we love because you get to kind of test out what you like, try some of this, some of that, see what all you want. So it's great. You can get some parlays going like we have here today. You can do some futures, whatever. So check out DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top rated sportsbook app. Is that right, Trey? So the rankings
number one, baby. Double fisted. There's too much going on right now, Ryan. There's too much going on.
Fair enough. Anyways, DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, if you're listening in Colorado, you must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus and a first bet match. Each up to $500. The deposit bonus requires a 25x playthrough and restrictions to apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. All right, boys, let's move into our big three here. And I feel it's only right that we start with the newest comer of the group. So let's go with Shane here.
Give me it.
Yeah, take us into the mind of Shane Diefenbach as you create your big three here.
Well, I'm not going to take you that far. There's some pretty gross things up here. But I am a fan of this game. I love the Davis Mills matchup. So I'm riding Davis Mills pretty hard tonight. But I'm also taking into account that the Panthers have the number one defense in the NFL through week 2. So I have Panthers -8. That's my normal pick. But my favorite one on this slate is Davis Mills over 207 passing yards. It's -125, and it's 207 passing yards. I mean that's one good screen to David Johnson. That's one long ball, and then you're feeling good for one half. And then CMC over 19.5 rushing attempts. He had 21 in week 1 and 24 in week 2. And I think they're probably going to start running the ball a lot. The only concern with that pick is he might not play in the fourth quarter. But it's a Thursday night football game. It might be closer than people think. So there's my big three. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get the love for the Panthers in this matchup. But as it comes to like a blowout, there was an old adage when college football was doing the Thursday, like always beware of the Thursday night home dog. And
for sure,
got one here in the Texans tonight. So I'm a little, one thing we always say is NFL bets got to make you uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable with both sides of this one. When it comes to this
I when I was thinking about the Texans, like taking that +8, I think it's -8.5 now. I think it just moved. But I was thinking about taking the +8 for the Texans. I remembered in 2018, I want to say, when the Texans had the worst defense in the NFL and they showed up wearing SWAT gear. to their games. Like I think it was their front seven, or maybe it was their secondary. One of those defensive units showed up wearing SWAT gear, and everyone was memeing them on Twitter because they were giving up the most yards and walking in like they were part of some action movie. It was terrible. So I had to go with the Panthers.
The one I'm most jealous of all your picks is the CMC rushing attempts. That's like a really good bet. I love it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, but a little concerned that it gets out of hand early enough that he's resting and Chuba's carrying the load for a lot of the second half, and they're kind of. But I'm all in on the CMC markets as well, so I'm with you.
All right, well, why don't we go into Dre's big three and see what you got for us?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm terrified. The Texans last year were actually a good team per the YPP metric, yard per play.
Mm-hmm.
And that was with Deshaun Watson, despite going like 0-8 to start the season. Now we're so far removed with that after Tyrod Taylor and now Davis Mills, who I thought was absolute trash in college. And yet, despite the Panthers defense playing well, I think we go unconventional over. I think Darnold puts up some points. Mills and the Texans get some garbage time stuff. Then we go over 43. I'm also with Shane on Panthers -8. I'm all in on Darnold throwing a pick here. It's just going to happen. He's not going to have this great game on Thursday night. I think Darnold markets are intriguing here. And with C-Mac, I am going to go over 5.5 receptions. He has hit that 10 of his last 13 games.
Wow.
So yeah, you got to go with that. You got to love the receptions here. That's especially the Christian McCaffrey market. I'm all over today is the receptions.
The over scares me a little bit. I thought it was a bit of a trap. But I like it here. Especially because it's Thursday night. If it wasn't primetime football and the Panthers, you have to keep in mind the short week. So I don't know if this defense is going to be insane. And I feel like Davis Mills might go crazy. I don't know why. I just feel it.
Wow. Davis Mills. So I think it was Nick Mullins on Thursday Night Football, who was the OG quarterback to come out of nowhere and go off on Thursday Night Football. I want to say he was like 21 of 23 for like 300 yards.
Was that on the Niners?
Yes, it was on the
Niners. That's Kyle Shanahan. That's Kyle Shanahan, though.
Right.
He can make anybody look good.
I think they were playing the Raiders. They beat the Raiders with Nick Mullins that night. That was epic.
I feel like a Cowboys backup covered the spread.
Ben DiNucci?
Was it DiNucci or
DiNucci?
Yeah, he covered for us last year. That was a primetime game against the Steelers. I can't remember if it was Thursday or night. But the primetime overs have been like just slaughter fest. Every other game, it's unders and dogs, but in primetime, it's just been over city.
Yeah, I fell into the WFT under trap last week. So I didn't want to make the mistake again. We're over ball all day. I'm so done betting on unders. I can't do it to myself anymore.
Yeah, I might have to wait until college basketball comes back before I become an undersman again.
I love college basketball unders.
College basketball, like betting on like 18-year-old kids to miss jump shots.
Yeah, and when you bet on the over, it's so frustrating. It is so frustrating. This little white boy from like Springfield, Illinois, that's been like shooting 50% from three is like 0 for 19. You're like, dude, what are you doing?
He's pulling from everywhere on the court.
Well, then you get the graphic. So and so team hasn't scored for the last like 5.
Yeah, that's the
clock. Like Ryan and I love those
the worst
so
The
much.
best.
Yeah, exactly.
I literally live for it. Michigan scoreless for the last 4:15. Oh my god! Exactly. Injected directly into my veins. All right.
One more thing on that. I had a really dark moment during quarantine, right when they started playing college basketball again. I bet on the. I don't remember. It was Hawaii versus somebody so bizarre, like San Jose State. And when you bet on like a weird college basketball game when the stream is like the school stream that you find online, and the announcers were just laughing, like it was terrible. And I bet the over, and I was just sitting there like, oh my god.
Oh geez. All right, let's go to my big three to finish us off here. I got Sam Darnold over 265.5. I just don't really believe in the Texans secondary. I will say I also worry a little bit about just the CMC thing happening where they just, they blow them out early and just run the rest of the game. But I do have a little bit of trust in the home dog to hang tight here. Brandon Cooks over 5.5 receptions. I think if there's one way they're going to go there on offense, it's going to be to him. He's the type of guy who can really get open at all three levels and just be kind of a safety blanket for the quarterback there. And then finally, I'm going Christian McCaffrey. Total yards under 142.5. This is like the opposite. Dre and I always say everybody loves a low number. Like, an over 8.5 rushing yards for some like third string running back always looks good. This is like the opposite of that. It's like everybody hates a high number. I might be falling for the trap here. It's so many yards. It's so many yards. And as your guy Rome here in the comments has been saying, like, Sam Darnold has been spreading the ball around. He's not exactly just force feeding Christian McCaffrey like has been happening in Carolina for a couple of years now. So I just think that, over the course of the game, they don't have to rely on him for everything, and eventually this goes under.
DJ Moore's been phenomenal too. I like as you said, I like how much he's been spreading the ball around. It doesn't, and people love to talk about Sam Darnold being Sam Darnold. He hasn't been producing, blah blah blah. But the first 2 weeks he's looked pretty damn good. He had that rushing touchdown, I want to say, in week 1, and yeah, he looks more confident. It's like he moved out of his abusive stepfather's house and he's getting coddled by, his grandma now, and he's throwing the ball pretty well.
Yeah, Adam Gase, the abusive stepfather. It's only, if you look at the quarterbacks that have been post Adam Gase, it's pretty good track record for them. So we'll see what happens with Sam Darnold, but he really does look, he looks similar to like what Tannehill looked like when he, got free and went to Tennessee. And I pointed out today, Teddy Bridgewater also once crossed paths with Adam Gase, so maybe the Broncos can get a little bit of that. Yeah, well, he was with the Jets before they eventually when they drafted Darnold.
That's right.
And then they eventually traded him to New Orleans at the end of the preseason.
Have you guys heard about the Teddy Bridgewater theory that's going around? Or not the Tyrod Taylor theory of every time he goes down and the backup comes in, or every time he gets traded, the next player is really good. So people are like, Davis Mills, he's going to be the franchise quarterback for the Texans. Like, I don't know about that, but maybe a 207-yard game would be nice.
A lot of people really like Davis Mills. I just realized all of us from Pac-12 country, we've got a Pac-12 on Pac-12 quarterback matchup tonight.
Yeah, for sure. And Christian McCaffrey, the star in the backfield or star of the whole game.
Right. Exactly. All right, Shane, you want to let the good people of Arizona know about DraftKings?
Well, I would have liked a better transition. I was gonna come up with something, but it's okay. This is fine. Everything's totally fine. But yeah, DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. It's the official betting partner of the NFL. Just in time for these Thursday night football games where you don't really know what you want to touch. You can do those same game parlays. Super fun. They allow you to combine like multiple bets. I do them all the time in the same game for a way bigger payout. And this week, if you place the same game parlay on any NFL game, you'll be credited up to $25 if your bet loses. So you get some insurance if you're feeling uneasy, which I am about this game. So I definitely will be hitting that up. Bet just $1 on any football game this week. You receive $150 in free bets instantly, no matter what. Use that code PHNX when you're a new member. Download that app, tap it. It's fire. I always say this, but it makes it so easy to bet live on games because it's so fast. A lot of these other apps are super slow, and the lines change so fast that you really want to be able to get that like -5.5 run total in the 8th inning in before the next batter comes up. So yeah, download it and get your money on because I've been pretty hot lately. I don't want to brag, but come follow the mustache. Come follow the mustache. Yeah. 21 plus, Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Woo!
All right. Well, you flex. You said you've been hot lately, so I'm gonna do this. If your big three outperforms mine tonight, I'll buy lunch tomorrow.
All right, that sounds good. Me being hot just means I went 4 for 5 on Monday Night Football. That's about it. But yeah.
That works. That works. We can work with that. Okay, Dre, you made the dilemma of the day today, and you wanted it to be about player parlay. So before I want to get to a same game parlay before we get out of here. But tell me about why you were so interested in the player parlays tonight.
I always love a good player parlay. You could do Darnold over 300 and McCaffrey over 100 receiving yards. You can double McCaffrey over 100 rushing yards and 100 receiving yards, which is always fun. You can get in and, combine Davis Mills over 250 and Cooks over a receiving touchdown. Also, I wanted to get into this odds boost with you guys. Ryan, you like the Darnold over. Are you in on Darnold over 300 passing yards boosted to plus 240? It's too much. It's too much.
I do like the value. Like they're giving you a lot of value for 50 yards.
As Johnny would say, that's a tasty nugget. I like it. It's fun.
It's fun. The question it comes down to, do you believe in the Texans being able to stop their run game? Because the only way he's getting to 300 is if they have to throw.
For sure.
And I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do believe in them to stop it enough. Like keeping Christian McCaffrey under probably like 50 yards to force him to throw that much doesn't feel like it's going to hit.
I just don't think the game plan's to let Darnold go out there and toss a ton of yards. Like it's a Matt Rule on. Like I just don't think. I think that's cheese. I think they're putting that number there for a reason so that you can go and take the cheese and get caught in the trap.
Yeah, fair enough. I got to be honest, Dre. I don't like any of the player parlays.
No, the only one I see feasible is the Davis Mills 250 Brandon Cooks touchdown. Is that one?
Yeah.
That's the only one I like somewhat even would pay attention to. The other ones are just too scary to me. When you're relying on two different players, and especially one that's a running back to go over 100 yards, you got to get lucky.
Did something just happen? Did some news just come down? For me, it looks like a lot of the props have come off the board, and I can't flip into SGP mode.
Yeah, they changed. They switched up on us just 5 minutes ago. I had them up and now they're gone.
That's tough.
Just maybe they're time to do the whole segment based on.
Maybe they're watching the show and they're scared that we're just gonna absolutely run them for their money right now.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, they're so dialed in on this game. It's like they're looking at our metrics. Okay, well, Henry in here threw together a same game parlay in the comments. He said over 42.5 points. 2+ Darnold interceptions plus a Philip Lindsay touchdown at plus 2,500. That's aggressive.
Very aggressive. Yeah.
I gotta look at what Philip Lindsay had 5 rushing attempts.
He's got a touchdown in both games, though.
That's true.
I was thinking of adding Philip Lindsay touchdown into my SGP.
He had 1 reception last week for 1 touchdown.
Yeah, 1 catch, 1 touchdown. It was a nice little screen. Something the Broncos just stopped doing when he was here for some reason.
Yeah.
So we can't actually build one and know what it's worth, but we can kind of look at what our feelings are towards this game and at least craft what we think, the types of stuff we would want to include in the same game parlay, meaning Davis, you love that Davis Mills markets, so you could even go conservative with him, maybe over 180 passing yards, something like that.
So Davis Mills over 0.5 interceptions set at an absurd minus 200. So obviously I'm abstaining until that line is moved.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something I would absolutely stick into an SGP is get that Davis Mills turnover going. Maybe you can get any team to have a turnover, they're young quarterbacks. It's not going to be a great performance on Thursday night from either quarterback.
Here's this. You get Davis Mills over 207 passing yards. You take the over 0.5 touchdowns. And you same game parlay both of those with the Houston Texans are the last to score at plus 135, and the over Carolina total team touchdowns over 2.5 at minus 170, and you got something juicy there.
I like that. I'm big on tuds these days. That's
I love the last to score, especially in a garbage game like this.
I don't think I've ever even considered a last to score bet.
They're funny.
Well, since we're here, since we later today are going to do another crossover show. Of course, Buffs taking on the Sun Devils in Tempe this weekend. The line currently set, Shane, at Sun Devils minus 14. I want your take first, and then I'll give you mine.
I don't think the Devils cover that. I really don't, just because of Herm. I think they win this game, but I don't think they cover. Herm just doesn't play like that. He's an NFL coach. He doesn't play to blow teams out of the water. If this Sun Devils team is up 17 in the second half, they go conservative. They put their heads in the turtle shell and shut down. And I mean, they have 3 really good running backs. I don't know if there's anything new on their lead back, Chip Trainum, but Daniel Nagata and Rashad White have been carrying the load mostly. And you're going to see a lot of short dink and dunks from Jaden Daniels late in the game if they're up that much. I don't even know if they're going to be up that much. The discipline thing still scares the shit out of me. They looked terrible, just absolutely terrible against BYU. They were against themselves, but yeah. So I would take the Buffs plus 14.
So you're speaking with a deeply, deeply broken man.
So
and I have absolutely no confidence in the Buffs. To be honest, if they covered this spread, I'll consider that a pretty big win, because that means they scored points. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but they are currently the owners of the longest streak in Pac-12 history, consecutive drives without a point. 20 consecutive drives without a point right now. So, our offense is so incompetent that I legitimately am not confident in them. I can't even say I wouldn't bet the over on 0.5 points right now.
So you're saying if they allowed props as first to score in college football, you would hammer ASU?
Yes, absolutely. First
that's
to score,
minus 225.
Yeah.
Is it?
Oh, that's available. Okay. So I'm broken. The only thing I can tell you about this game is hammer the absolute hell out of the under. I think the Buffs will be able to contain ASU on offense, and I think ASU won't have to do anything to contain the Buffs on defense. So
here's my thing. If you're not a fan of either of these teams, even if you are, stay the fuck away. The Sun Devils play the weirdest games I've ever seen, this year especially. It can be a 70-point game output. I know that offense is terrible. I know, trust me. But there's something to be said about this team playing down and up and down and up. And if you guys don't score by the halftime mark, we'll spot you 7 by fumbling a kickoff. That's how it goes. It's going to be a weird game. I don't touch this. I don't touch it.
This is who's more broken.
I think you guys just described the perfect play on the under 45. Buffs defense is really good, and Arizona State just you laid out the whole thing with Herm, and I think they've just been too inconsistent.
No,
so you would want.
That's why I'm saying don't touch it. Don't
hammer under 45, and then Ryan. I mean, if we aren't activating and reverse mortgaging here on Buffs under 15.5, I don't know what we're doing.
So
they
low.
are averaging under a point per quarter the last 2 games.
No. Trust me, I know. I just feel way more comfortable with the actual under, because the way that they're baking in this under is
the actual under is golden.
Yeah, is ASU to score 30 and the Buffs to score 15. I don't think ASU is scoring 30. I also don't think the Buffs are scoring 15. So I'm safe on both ends.
I'm too scared.
Yeah, I just hope that somehow, some way, we get a good game.
I think
Texas A&M
I think it
game.
will be a good game. I think it will. Trust me, I really do.
I do think there's some overreaction in Buffs Nation about just how bad it was last week, and I also think they're going to have to try something on offense, meaning some more RPO, some zone read. Maybe they come out of the pistol with some of that sort of stuff. They're going to have to try something. There's no way they roll out the same style of offense they run last week.
You know what prop I wish I could bet? If the Buffs ever got to a 3rd and 20 or a 3rd and 30, they get the first down because if you don't do it through the air, like one of our DNs will come around the end and hit your quarterback in the face. Like that's just what happens. Or somebody takes somebody's shoe off and runs it into the end zone. Like this team just doesn't know what discipline is, and it hurts. It hurts so bad.
That is so. I just love this. I love how down we both are on
Two broken fans talking about whose team is worse is the best conversation. It's amazing.
I just sort of feel like that that meme of Mel Gibson and Jesus, where he's like he looks perfect, and then there's like I feel like you're trying to tell me how bad it is, but that's the real meme here. Dre, as I guess, I mean, you're not really an unbiased observer, but what do you think about the spread?
The spread is so hard. I would lean Buffs because I think they're actually a decent team outside of their quarterback. Mm-hmm. Like I think 10 starters on offense and the 11 starters on defense, they're a good enough team to cover this spread. That quarterback's a mess, and I believe they'll figure it out or they'll try something new. I feel like you've been saying that for 3 years after their like first or second loss of the year, where they look really good and always kind of the same offensive play caller. And we're thinking, okay, well, they'll have to figure this out and adapt. And it only goes downhill from there. So that's what's got me skeptical.
You can't go downhill from 20 consecutive drives without a point. It's not possible.
You can be U of A.
That's true. Even U of A is probably. I know for a fact U of A has scored a point more recently.
They lost to a school they haven't lost to since people were talking like this in 1932. It's insane. They lost to a nursing school.
I think that's great. Yeah, it's amazing.
You bet against U of A?
Well, so unfortunately, you'll be mad at me for what I did, but I parlay of Northern Arizona and Arizona State money line, and it would have hit if it wasn't for that damn strip on the.
It would have hit if it wasn't for so many things, Ryan. It would have hit if it wasn't for so many things.
It would have absolutely hit. Did he bring Virginia schools into this? I thought he was talking about Northern Arizona.
Yeah.
I guess if I was the Buffs, I'd go full blown Wildcat because that's all they can do is run the ball.
They have 3 really good backs, so run like a full house. Like put a running back. He's flanked by both sides. You could even put like a wide receiver behind him.
You know what I love though? If they were to do that, if they were to commit to that, the under, because you're annihilating half the game with the clock. No matter what, the under is hot.
I'm telling you, I'm scared. I'm scared for the under. I really am. We can because for this Buffs team, it's like a winner go home thing, except it's a winner. Your season's over and you're depressed, and you have to you don't play football for the rest of the year because there's nothing to play for. They need to perform in this game or everything's going to crumble. So I really see Colorado showing up and at least trying really hard. And that's all we can ask, right? From these young guys, just try hard. You're playing sports.
That's all I can ask. That's for damn sure. All right. Well, I would say that you tried really hard today, Shane, and I'm proud of you for that.
Oh, man. That gets me all warm inside.
I think you guys have player props over there for
college? No.
No?
No.
I know.
At least I haven't seen them yet.
A nationwide problem, Dre.
Do you guys do?
No, we don't. But like some places do. And in fact, last week for like an hour, we had
the app malfunctioned and flipped it into SGP, and I could have cried when I saw Tulia Tagovailoa props available to me. And I did a whole thing on the show only to go there and realize it was just a glitch of the app. The stupid legislators hadn't actually changed anything.
So the Maryland quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah. Him, man. I won big on there. I forget who they played last year. They upset somebody big. They won by a bunch.
Michigan.
I think it was BYU. Michigan? Yeah. Yeah, they were up by like 14 and they were like plus 250. I was like, what? Come on. Let's go.
All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for us here. This has been really fun. I think we're going to do this a lot more.
Yeah.
I love the extra insight that Shane brought. So appreciate you for coming on and
Of course.
for PHNX for collabing with us on this. And we'll talk to you guys all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.
Yep. Later, guys.